and his granddaughter picked him up from his rest home and was taking him on a tiki tour, and he didn't know he was coming here. And they arrived out the gate, and I was there to greet them. It was a Saturday, so I was able to have afternoon tea with Bruce and gave him a tour of the school, and we've remained in contact. So he has sent me, and he has typed this himself for me to share with you. He's labelled it Kimihia School, 1971 to 1977, Principal Bruce Seaton. I began my position at Kimihia as a teaching principal in 1971. My family lived in the schoolhouse, which was in Tawa Road beside the Kimihia open cast coal mine, and where the school stood earlier. The school is now established in Kimihia Road in the northern area of Huntly. In October, this schoolhouse was transported into Railway Street, which bordered the school site, and our family was temporarily housed in a secondary schoolhouse in Kimihia Road, opposite the school gate. The most eventful memories of this move were, firstly, the antics of the crew in guiding the house, mounted on a narrow vehicle, down through narrow and very rough Tawa Road with literally only 10 millimetres to spare. But more so, I stood with hand in mouth while the crew pulled the house up around Railway Street corner and continued the arc onto the site. The guide stood calling to the driver, keep going, and the house rolled off the top side of the trailer, stood on its side, and as it continued up onto the site, slowly settled back into place and settled it where it is today. And despite that shift, there was no serious damage. Sport. Teams took part in all sports arranged by neighbouring schools, including the usual boys rugby, girls basketball, gymnastics, as well as the combined field days, when up to 800 pupils would arrive onto the domain for competitive games and round-robin contests. We inaugurated the cross-country runs each year, starting and finishing at the school. The tracks were down Kimihia onto a farmer's property, with his permission of course, across the country, across a shallow bog area, through a small stockyard, and finished back in the school grounds. This proved very popular and was run for Standard 3 and up pupils. Our choir entered school. In 1975, new open plan 4-room block built on site. As time went by, our numbers grew so that in 1974, 2 prefabricated classrooms were brought onto site to house the growth. These were in poor state, so that the committee arranged that they be updated and repainted. They were sited on the upper area near the pool area. In 1975, a 4-roomed open-plan building was built facing the office. Open-plan rooms were a new concept then, and the staffing had to be carefully selected. It is probably fair to say that much experimentation went on in the first year by the 3 classes which were taught in that run. Card evenings. In 1972, a new Parent-Teacher Association introduced 500 evenings at the school. Wouldn't do that now, for interested parents, purely as social evenings. These became very popular, and help for beginners was introduced. Evening was concluded with tea and coffee and a biscuit for a social chat. Adventure Playground. The Huntly Power Station was built during the early 70s. I represented education on the joint committee which was established in Huntly, covering all interests, which met regularly with the power company and kept totally up to date on where the project was to and to warn of future developments affecting the town. Imagine my surprise when one day a huge truck laden with timber poles, blocks, etc. arrived at the school gate with the question, "Where do you want it?" We were advised that when large town projects were carried out in towns, Some other gifts were made to the town. In this case, we were given a huge adventure playground from the power authorities. I didn't know that. There followed many hours of weekend working bees putting together the sections before a large big high structure which challenged our middle and senior school. Is that what you're talking about here in the tower? Sorry to look at on the tower. This is the explanation of... Shall we respond from there? That's the end of his speech. But then he has enclosed... This is the explanation of the enclosed poem which I gave to all those I was able to make contact. It involves every name of every teacher who was on the staff during the 7 years I was principal. It's very long, so I won't read it. Look, I'll read the first part. He stood there, stared in disbelief, elated at his good fortune. The mail had come, had brought the news, but still trepidation. Could he do it? Achieve success? Was he really fit to take on Kimihia School and make a job of it? His worries were unfounded though. He didn't need to wince. That team of teachers had made it go, and so have many since. Since February of 71, he's seen so many new, but Marion and Judy have stuck it out right through. Side by side, supporting him, 2 senior places filled. They formed a teaching nucleus for years on which to build. I'll pop it over there if you would like to read that further. So thank you, Bruce, and I hope he's well and has a few more years yet. Thank you.